Guys, welcome back to Resin Belle. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a UV resin kit, and we're going to go through it, and I'm going to show you kind of how to use it, and a few tips on using UV resin for beginners. And the folks here sent me this kit to try out and review, and they also sent me their macaron color series pigments. So those are some really cool colors, so we're going to try those out too. And so let's get started. I will have this linked in the description box below if you're interested in purchasing that. So we open up the kit. This is the Lightwish kit, UV resin kit. It has 100 grams of UV resin, stir stick, mixing cup, mold, UV lamp, and UV top coat. So let's get in here and see what we've got. So we have one container of resin. That is a nice large amount of resin, and we have bottle 2. So that is pretty awesome. This is 100 grams and this is 100 grams, so that's 200 grams of resin. That is a lot of UV resin. And so this is a UV top coat, and this is actually pretty nice, especially if you are doing like jewelry or pens or something like that. You could put this over the top and it gives it a nice glossy hard coat to go on top. That is very durable. It's kind of like, like you would put on your nails. So here we have our little cup, our stir sticks, and a little mold. We'll open those up. Cute little cup for mixing. Got your 2 little stirring spatulas and a nice little spoon here so that you can dip your resin into, and some cute little jewelry earring molds. So that is a really cute little mold, so we're going to try that out as well. See, and then next we have a little sun mini. This is a UV curing lamp that you need to cure your UV resin. So for those of you, and it does have a little instruction booklet in there, for those of you who haven't used UV resin before and are not sure what the difference between UV resin and epoxy resin. Epoxy resin is a 2-part resin that you mix together, and the 2 parts form a chemical reaction that cures the resin into, hard resin. The UV resin is just a 1 part, just 1 part, that's all you need, and it cures via UV light. So you have to have a light source to cure UV resin. Or you can stick it out in the sun. Any UV light source can cure UV resin. So that's what she comes with. You got your resin, your stir sticks, your stir pot, a mold, a lamp to cure the resin, and a nice good hard coat for the top. So that is pretty cool. Then there's a little pamphlet in here, kind of gives you some instructions on how to do it. And yeah, pretty simple, and I will show you how to do that here in just a moment. Alright, so a lot of these little beginner UV resin kits don't come with a mold, so I'm very happy to see that they have included a small mold so that you really do have every single thing you need in this kit to just make a very simple, clear mold. So if you want to color your molds, you're going to need some kind of pigments. So they have 2 sets. This is the macaron pigment, and then they have one that has this has like pastels and stuff in it, and their other one has like a lot of like regular colors, darker colors, your basic colors. So we're going to try out these pigments a little bit here. Alright, so these come with a little seal on the top of the bottle, so you have to unscrew that, pull that seal, and then screw it back on so that you can do that. I've already opened the other one. Okay, so the cool thing about these pigments is you don't have to stick a pin in them. Usually you'll have to put a pin down in the top. These are already open, so really all you have to do is open the can and squeeze it out, which is nice because then you don't get your hands covered with all of the inks and stuff. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. So what you're going to do is you're just going to, hang on, there's something in my, make sure that your silicone cup is cleaned out, because anything in there is going to be stuck in your resin. So we're going to add a little bit of resin in here. Just a little squeeze. And then we're going to choose a color. I like this kind of light purple here. I'm going to add a little bit of color in there. Doesn't take too much. You don't want to make it too dark. One thing about UV resin is that if you put too much pigment in, it can inhibit the light from getting to the center. A lot of people work with UV resin for the first time, and they will be kind of perplexed that the outside of their resin piece is solid and cured, but the very inside is mushy and squishy, and that is because they may have used too much pigment, and the light source cannot penetrate through that colorant to get to the center to cure all the way through. Too much glitter can inhibit the light from getting through to the middle. So the thing about UV resin is it does have to remain somewhat translucent so that that light can get all the way through. Alright, so that was pretty simple and fast. You can see that really cute color. Love it. So I'll bring you guys down here and we will get started here. So I'm going to just tap this a little bit. I like to do this to help the bubbles to get to the top, or you can just leave it setting for a minute or two and allow those bubbles to come through and pop on their own. Because if you pour this in your mold and it has bubbles in it and then you cure it, you're going to cure those bubbles into it, because once you add the light, it's only a matter of a minute and it's hard and cure. It's very fast. I'm just going to pop a few of those bubbles and then I'm going to pour this in here. I love that this has a little pour spout. It's like perfect. I'm going to use this to kind of push that around this little thing here, just to make sure that my mold is completely full. I'm going to run this around the edges to pull any bubbles away, and you can pick up any bubbles with this tool as well. And if you overfill, you can just take it out a drop at a time. So I overfilled the one on the left and underfilled the one on the right, so I'm just going to kind of even them out here. And I'm going to slowly run my tool around all inside of there. That's why this is a nice little tool to have, because it is a very soft silicone and you can run it around on the inside of your mold without scratching the inside of your mold. So that's a thing. Anytime you get scratches on the inside of your mold, they will always transfer from then on to your project. So be careful with your molds. All right. Let's go ahead and fill up these other ones. Let's try this one. I like it. Okay, so now it's time to put it in the light. Now then, we're just going to set this light right over the top. And if you have any left in your bowl that you want to save, please make sure it is far away from your light because it will cure. So now we're going to just push this button right here, and this light is going to come on. So if you have flash difficulties, please fast forward now. All right, now then, once that is cured, you can flip it over and you can run it for more time. And that will ensure that both sides of your resin are fully cured, and it will give it a better chance, especially when you're using pigment. It's not always necessary, but it's a good habit to get into. All right, now then, we are ready here. And this is what it looks like. It's very simple. It's already cured completely. There's not any kind of stickiness, nothing on there. So that's pretty cool. So we're going to unmold this. And look how cute that is. That is adorable. And there is no stickiness, no tackiness, nothing on there. Now then, there's that one. And these come right out of this mold. This is a nice little mold. It's great for any kind of jewelry making. Look how cute that is. That is adorable. I love it. This resin, this UV resin is very nice. I'm really impressed with this resin. There is zero tackiness. Sometimes if you have a lower watt lamp, sometimes your pieces will be a little tacky, but I mean, that was basically a trip through on the front and a trip through on the back. So very quickly you can make a lot of different pieces. This is a great little kit. The pigments are awesome. I'm going to make up some little samples of the pigments and show you the different colors in resin here in just a moment. So I do recommend that you wear gloves because resin, UV resin or epoxy resin, you can become sensitized to it if you have more exposure to it. And also work in a very well ventilated area or wear a respirator that is designed for organic vapors. So, all right. Okay, so I have tested out all of the colors and there are some really good ones over here. So we got deep green, light purple, pink, light orange, light blue, light green, gray, deep blue, light yellow, and scarlet red. So yeah, lots of really great colors, and I'm just going to show you real quick how this stuff here works. Alright, so this is just a clear coat, and let's say that your piece maybe is not as shiny as you wanted it to, or maybe you got a fingerprint on it or a scratch or something, or you just want your jewelry pieces to last longer. So you just take this stuff and you just brush it on just like you would on your fingernails, and you give it just a moment to kind of settle, and you can then cure it with your light. Okay, so now you can see that this one on the right, that's the one I put the clear coat on top of, and you can see how it is just more shiny than this one. This one's still shiny, but it's just a little bit duller, and it really makes that color pop as well. You can see the color just looks more blue for some reason, but yeah, that's what you can get with that clear coat on top, and it will make it a lot more sturdy if you make jewelry with those. Now another thing you can also do is, say maybe you've got a mold that is more matte. You see how this one is very matte? You can add that on top and it will make it shiny if you'd rather have a shiny finish to your items. So we'll try that. So then you can see you can get a very shiny finish to a matte finish. I needed to add just a little bit more. That's why that has that little bubble there. So if you're trying to get a nice smooth finish and you're getting what looks like that, then you haven't applied quite enough of the product. And it's kind of trying to smooth itself, but there's not enough product on there to do so. So that's how you get those little spots. So just add a little bit more product and you'll be fine. Okay, so another thing that you want to be sure to use when you're using UV resin, you must use clear molds. The clear molds allow the light to pass through the item and cure, because it has to have that light to cure. Molds like this that you can't see through very, very, very rarely work. If you do use something like this, sometimes you can get it to work if you add very, very thin layers and cure every single very thin layer as you go, which takes a lot of time, and sometimes it just doesn't work out right. Save yourself a lot of time and hassle, and make sure you get your clear molds. So, you know, you got your clear mold and you can cure it on one side, you can flip it over, cure it on the other side, and you've got it definitely cured all the way through. So awesome. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. Thank you so much to Lightwish for sending me this awesome set, as well as these macaron colors. So if you're really wanting to try UV resin, I do recommend the Lightwish UV Resin Kit. It does have everything you need to try it out for the first time. Any resin that is in there will be clear, obviously, unless you get a set of pigments that are usable with the UV resin. So these pigments work with UV resin, they work with epoxy resin, all that good stuff. So alright guys, I will be back with some more interesting and awesome things. I've got some more awesome products to share with you guys. I have a UV resin printer. Oh my gosh, I'm super excited to try that out. I have a new laser product I want to show you. Lots of cool new UV resin projects. We're going to be doing some different UV resin projects this month, and I'm really looking forward to sharing those with you. If you guys would hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and comment below and let me know what you guys are up to, and I will see you guys in the next video.